Hi, this is Al Snow, former WWE Superstar, and you're listening to Mitch, Please.
Mitch, Please, since 2016. Flying with angels, dancing with devils, caught in between a saint and a rebel. Trying to live my best life, go into it like a WWF fight. And the fans are screaming, they got my back like I'm really beaming. So beam me up, Scotty, kicking down doors like I know karate. I got the fuego like Mojave, getting high is my hobby. Mitch Please in 2016. Podcast so ill, it might catch a body. Can't no one harm me. It would take more than the army to stop Mitch Valentine from doing what he gotta do. He stays on his grind. R.I.P. Joe Rogan. Y'all better know that we coming. We ain't ever running. So turn up the sound and keep it 100. Keep it 100. Mitch Valentine, keep it 100. Keep it 100. Mitch Please podcast, keep it 100. Now chill. Yeah, hashtag make dreams happen. Pro Championship Entertainment. At Heartbreaker MV. At PCE since 2015. Yeah, follow your dreams, y'all. Mitch Please in 2016.
Back and better than ever before. Welcome to episode 34 of Mitch Please. I am Mitch Valentine, and I'm very excited, as usual, to be bringing you this podcast. It's been a few months. A lot has happened. A lot has happened. And I'll get into that at the end of the show. And I'll get into what's happening in the weeks and months to come in my life. But right now, I'm sitting next to the man who tells it like he smells it. He is nothing left. He is Bradley Rotten. I just call him Brad. What's up, Brad?
Hey, what's happening, Mitch?
Too much, bro. So we're here. We're sitting on the couch. We got Philbert looking at us, and we're going to break down the state of wrestling, which basically comes down to WrestleMania, because that's what it is. That's where we're at in this time of year. It's WrestleMania season. There's a lot going on all over the place in wrestling, but I wanted to break down these top 8 matches here that are happening on April 7th at WrestleMania.
Sounds good to me. Are these your top 8 that you... I mean, clearly there's more matches, but is this like you're like, okay, well, this is how I view the card as being a big deal within those matches, right? Yeah,
I mean, for the first time ever, I kind of wrote something down here to do this show. Like, I have a piece of paper with stuff written down on it, which is very rare. But yeah, basically the top 8 matches in my mind at WrestleMania, with all due respect, of course, to every single person in the wrestling business. But this is what we got, man. We've got The Miz versus Shane McMahon.
Although it feels like it happened very quickly, The Miz and Shane, obviously, clearly, because both of those guys' performances are really good. So putting them together in a match against each other makes sense for WrestleMania, at least in my view. I don't know if I want to predict anybody, because in my deepest dork fandom, like a kid, on this one I don't really have a who I'd rather see win. I really am just pretty stoked on the fact that it's probably going to be one of those matches that's going to have a lot of really exciting spots, where oohs and ahs.
Yeah. Oh, with Shane McMahon, Falls Count Anywhere match, by the way, is what it is. Yeah, I mean, it's been building since November, really, because they did the Best in the World thing. I've loved the build to this. I think this is one of the more better built matches on the show. You saw it coming. I saw it coming. I was hoping Shane McMahon was going to turn heel because he hasn't been heel in a long time. So to see him finally turn heel, man, and the Miz is a babyface, and the Miz is getting a good pop right now as a babyface. So I'm going with Miz because Shane McMahon doesn't need the win. Randy Orton versus AJ Styles.
Randy Orton and AJ Styles. Well, that's kind of unfair for me as just a dork for wrestling, because I like Randy Orton's work, but I kind of go with AJ all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I kind of just, and maybe it's an indie thing where like we watched that guy be on a smaller level for such a long time, so like there's a part of me that kind of wants to root for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know who. I don't. That's another one I don't really know. I'm gonna go with AJ.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that would make sense. But sometimes I think I'm more interested in the middle ground of like, is it going to be a good match and am I going to be entertained by it? No matter what finish they do, they could do that same finish different ways, and it could either be really, really shitty or it could be really good.
I see a flying forearm into an RKO or something, and maybe that'll be a false. I don't know, but I think this is a WrestleMania dream match. I think these are two of the best in the world, and I am super pumped for this one. They're both about 40 years old. I think Orton's actually younger than AJ Styles, which is crazy to think about because he's been in WWE for so long and AJ's only been there for a couple years. But I think, I'm going to go with my flying forearm into an RKO as the finish. I think Randy Orton's going to go over. Here we go. Super excited about this one, brother. Samoa Joe, the United States champion. Yes. Going into WrestleMania against Rey Mysterio.
Well, to me, it's fucking amazing that Rey Mysterio Jr. is still doing what Rey Mysterio Jr. does. Or I guess he's Rey Mysterio now. I'm so used to calling him Junior. But I guess he's not really Junior anything
stuck in
anymore.
The 90s.
Right, yeah. But, I mean, it's like kind of amazing that he's the age that he is, and he still does all his high spots and everything with just as much grace and ease. This one's a hard one, too. Like you were saying earlier, these are all kind of like, I mean, it's WrestleMania. They're all main event matches. I am going to think Rey Mysterio gets over. Just because it's WrestleMania and it would be a title change and it's the U.S. title. I kind of feel like no one really cares about the U.S. title. Although, having it on Samoa Joe has been really, I think it's been really cool.
It's been good. Yeah, go ahead.
Just that he has a title. I kind of feel bad for Joe. He's been working for so
Seriously.
long. And he's only been in one really good storyline and kind of run, and that was with AJ, and it seemed to kind of not.
And he just got beat the whole time. He had the NXT title, but no, dude, you know I'm the biggest Samoa Joe fan in the world, and I feel that Joe's got to go over. Joe's got to choke Mysterio out because that U.S. title has been jumping around. Just like the IC. I don't even want to talk about the IC title on this show today. The U.S. title has been jumping around. Joe needs to hold that belt for 6 months.
But, I mean, I agree with you, but then I'm thinking, like, well, now that I think about it, WWE is kind of hard to predict on, because for a while there, it can get, sometimes it can get really predictable on what they're going to do. It's almost like the average person can figure it out if they watch it a couple weeks in a row. They're probably going to figure out sort of where they're going to go, and especially if you watch it for a long period of time. I like that, but I just have a feeling that it was somehow weirdly designed for Samoa Joe to then drop it to Rey Mysterio to help put over Rey Mysterio, because he's probably going to, how much longer can he be doing? You know what I mean? It's crazy. He doesn't look bad, but I mean, how long are they going to...
Who, Joe or Mysterio?
Well, actually, that's a good question. I didn't really think of it. Thinking of it the other way in Joe. Joe's been working for a really long time, too. He just hasn't been working in WWE.
Yeah. Triple H versus Batista. I'm going to start this one real quick, just because this, to me, is has Superstar written all over it. You got Triple H has been cutting promos, and he's been he's been cutting real promos. And I enjoy, and I think you as well, real promos from the heart, speaking as a human being. Batista is the heel, but who knows, right? They might cheer him like, who knows, because like he's Batista, he hasn't been there in 4 or 5 years, and then before that it was 4 or 5 years, and he hasn't really been there. He's been in Hollywood, he's been in the Avengers, he's been in the Guardians of the Galaxy. He's a superstar, man, worldwide celebrity, and so is Triple H, and this is probably it for Batista, and it might be it for Triple H because his career is on the line, but I definitely think this is it for Batista. This is what he wants, but I think Triple H is going over.
Yeah, I'm actually going to agree with you on that one. I think it's just obvious that Triple H is going to get over just in terms of its Triple H. Like, a lot of... I just feel like... why would he want to... Like, why would Batista, like, get over on that when he's... It's clear that he's there specifically for that reason, to have that match. Does that make sense?
Yeah, he wants... This is Batista's idea. This is what Batista's been wanting for years.
So, I guess it's a matter of, like, how is that story going to end, and will we as fans be satisfied with how that story ends, whether Triple H gets over or Batista gets over? Either way, I think we all kind of know one of them is going to... either one are going to call it quits in the end. It's going to be kind of their last hurrah, right? Like, if Triple H loses, his career's over because he put it on the line.
Right.
And if Triple H wins and Batista loses, well, even though it wasn't quite, maybe not said in promo or anything, I'm not sure. I haven't heard any of Batista's promos, to be honest, or if he
hasn't said much
or
as we record
anything.
this. Yeah.
So, like, even if he doesn't say anything, there's probably a guarantee then he's going to come back on the Raw the night afterwards and have some sort of speech or say something, or say that he's going to go back to Hollywood or whatever.
Yeah.
Or just disappear.
Retire.
Yeah, have his retirement moment or whatever. So it's kind of in a weird situation of main event status, because it's not quite a clear distinction to, like, to make a prediction, but I'm gonna agree with you on Triple H. Although if it goes either way, I'd be happy too. I think as long as the meat in the middle it's a good match, then I think fans will be happy.
Here's a pretty well built match: Daniel Bryan defending the WWE Championship against Kofi Kingston.
I like this a lot. Yeah, I definitely think that Kofi deserves it. He's been working for a long time, and he kind of been working such a long time, like in the way that you don't realize. He's almost been kind of like R-Truth. R-Truth is the same way. That dude's been around for so long, and we don't realize it sometimes because he's in a specific situation. Role. Yeah, a specific role to be looked at in a specific way. And Kofi's kind of the same way. He did the New Day thing for quite a while now. And he was doing singles before, but he's been doing it for such a long time. And it's I think it's kind of exciting that people are finally seeing him rotate into, like, a main event.
A main eventer. And I think the New Day is going to be a huge factor in this match, because here's the thing. The New Day is the reason he's in the match, storyline-wise. They want a tag team gauntlet. So here's the thing. I see the New Day turning on Kofi.
Well, yeah. Right. Like, it wouldn't make sense for him to get all this... babyface type attention. Yeah. And then push him to conquering this big thing, and it being a big deal because he's finally there. He's finally in a big WrestleMania status match. It would make sense for the other two guys to be
especially Big E.
Right.
Because Big E's a monster with so much personality, and it's just waiting to come out. I could just see him just clotheslining the living daylights out of Kofi Kingston, and maybe Xavier's torn. Maybe Big E turns and Kofi's the baby, he's the heel, and Xavier's kind of doesn't know what to do. That's the storyline that I would go with. Kofi don't need the belt. Keep it on Bryan.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, but I think there still needs to be an element of, like, conquering of some kind, even if he doesn't win the title. So, like, those two guys are going to be the the cost of him losing the match, I have a feeling.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Most definitely, like, to where Bryan's going to keep the title, but...
New Day's the reason why.
Yeah.
Inadvertent or advertent, we'll figure it out. Brock Lesnar defending the Universal Championship against Seth Rollins.
You know, I don't even want to sound like I don't care, but I kind of don't. Like,
yeah.
And it's not that I don't care about the two individual talent or anything, or them, and especially them as people. I mean, that's their job. They're doing, you know, they were put in that position to have that match at WrestleMania, and I'm sure it'll. Even bad matches at WrestleMania are usually not too bad. At least in my view, you know, ones that I don't like, it's always a big deal because it's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But I honestly don't even... I really don't think I'm in that much invested interest to even make an opinion on it.
Me either.
Right.
I think that...
I mean, like I said, I like both of them. I like Brock Lesnar. You know, I like whatever. I like watching it. It's wrestling. But I don't have... the fan in me doesn't have like any like, oh, I really hope this person because I like their performance, or oh, I really hope this doesn't happen. Like it's kind of in between.
I love Brock Lesnar. I'm a huge Brock Lesnar mark. I think he's great for wrestling because he's legit and he looks like a star and he acts like a star and he wrestles like a star. But he doesn't need the Universal title. Rollins does, but I don't think he's going to beat Brock clean. I think if Rollins beats Brock, it's going to be because Roman Reigns is going to help him. And that could lead to Brock Roman at SummerSlam. Doesn't need a title. It's Brock Roman. We've got this match that I really want to talk about. Kurt Angle's last match versus Baron Corbin.
I think it's weird that he's wrestling Baron Corbin as his last match. I don't know why we did Samoa Joe and AJ Styles before WrestleMania.
And Rey Mysterio.
And, well, yeah.
This coming Monday night on Raw as we record this. That's what's going to happen.
Right.
Angle's last TV match.
I just think it would make more sense if he did that, like an AJ Styles match at WrestleMania with, you know, those two would have been really great. Or and maybe WWE figured that was too predictable of an idea, too obvious. But I don't know.
Corbin's got heat. Tell you that.
Yeah, he does. He's got good heat. I'm just maybe as the kids say, the feels isn't there. You know, like I don't feel excited about it. Although there is a sense of kind of like, oh man, Kurt Angle's he's retiring. Like he's officially retiring.
Yeah, it's real. It's damn real.
Right. So that's kind of a bummer. Like there's a side where I'm like, oh man, I'm not going to get to watch him perform anymore.
Yeah.
But like it's his retirement.
Yeah.
Match, and that's interesting in that like I'm not really sure how they're going to go with that. If he passes the torch or however you want to call it, does a favor for Baron Corbin and helps put him over by Baron Corbin defeating Kurt Angle, which would be a big deal.
Yeah.
For anybody in the business.
Absolutely.
Or if he gets his last swan song and he kind of goes out getting over because they're booking it as a tour of his last string of matches. So
that's exactly what they've been doing. That's why he wrestled Joe and AJ and Mysterio. And I thought it was going to be Joe for the U.S. title, and Angle wins the U.S. title and retires as the U.S. champ. But they're going with Corbin. I feel that Angle's 50. He's limited. What they need to do is throw in all the bells and whistles. It should not be a singles match with Corbin. I mean, if they can, get John Cena out there, get The Rock out there, get Undertaker and Kane out there. Let's make it a six-man tag. No, I'm serious. Let's make it a six-man tag. Let's go Corbin, Taker, and Kane against Cena, Rock, and Angle. You know what I mean? Let's just have some fun because Angle can't. Unfortunately, he hasn't been doing a lot in the ring, and he shouldn't have to, and he doesn't need to. And the more people that get the rub from Kurt Angle's last match, the better. And the more people that actually are stars that mean something to Kurt Angle, like The Rock, like John Cena, like Undertaker, like Kane, I feel they should be involved. I mean, that's just me, dream booking, but that's how I feel.
Do you think that'll be one of the things we don't expect?
Yes, that's what exactly. WrestleMania surprises. Come on.
Somebody else comes out that is of relevance. Maybe we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah.
Or
have Stone Cold Steve Austin be the ref. Something.
Right. Yeah, something. Right, because it's his final. It's his last match.
And speaking of last match, main event of WrestleMania, Brad. I'm so excited for this. We knew it was coming. We've been watching it all for years. It's been a build-up. You got the Raw Women's Champion, Rowdy Ronda Rousey, who's been making a name for herself on YouTube. You got the SmackDown Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair, who was a name before she was born. Then you got Becky Lynch. And the man, right?
Right.
But here's the thing. As we record this, Charlotte just won the SmackDown Women's title. I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe by the time this is released, the questions will be answered, but are both championships going to be on the line? Are we going to create one unified women's champion? Because I think we should. And I think it should be Becky Lynch without question. That's how we should end WrestleMania.
Agreed. Yes, I do think they should unify them. I think there's just... Well, you know my opinion on the titles these days. There's just fucking too many of them.
Yeah.
And it's like everybody's got an award. And don't get me wrong. I like that there should be a handful of titles, but not so many of them, and just because we have different divisions doesn't mean we have to have 10 titles for each division.
Yep.
So I do think they should put those two titles together, and then that title should be defended on both shows.
Yep.
I know I've been saying this, but I would be happy with whatever storyline attached or finish attached. I would be happy with anybody in this match getting over, because I think they all do. Definitely Becky Lynch, because I feel like she's been working hard to get to that position. And I think they've slowly, that's where they're going with it. I think she's pushed so hard that they're finally going to go, well, they finally kind of went, okay, well, then let's see if you can, okay, we're giving you a main event at WrestleMania. And everything about this match is exciting because, there's never been a women's title match as a main event for WrestleMania. Right. That's historical, which is neat that it's on the 35th.
Absolutely.
35th edition. And then, again, I think the meat in the middle of the match in itself, the storyline that they have with those three, is really intricate and really exciting. So, whatever they end up doing, I think Becky Lynch is going to end up getting over at the end, but I'm also sometimes am more excited about how they get to that in the end, how that story is going to be told and how they get to it. Because I'm always excited to see Ronda Rousey too. She has a different style. Yeah,
and we are out of time. Thank you, Brad, for coming on the show. Go ahead, plug your social media.
You can find me on Facebook. Nothing Left Chico, and then you can find my Bradley Rotten at Bradley Rotten on the Twitter and Facebook. I don't use my Twitter as much, but I will be soon. And then I think that's pretty much it. And I'm Bradley Justin Fitty on Facebook. That's my personal page, but if you know me, hit me up there. And then I'm actually doing a show this Friday, so if this is out before this Friday, I'll be playing at the Spirit venue in Oroville.
There you go. Keep track of what he's doing, guys. Thank you, brother, for coming on the show. Much love. And right now, we're going to kick it on over to Paul Priest. We are set to make history here on Mitch Please. I want to welcome to the show right now. He is a Chico legend. He is a huge rock star, as Chris Jericho would say. He is the one and only, the man, Paul Priest. Welcome to the show.
Oh my God, thank you so much. If I didn't have a red beard, I'd be blushing right now.
Red beards are where it's at, brother.
That's it. I'm part-time ginger. I'm a day walker.
I love it. I love me some gingers, brother. I love me some gingers. And I love me some Paul Priest, man. I'm really happy to have you here on the show today.
Thank you.
So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to talk about you, and I'm going to try not to talk very much, but if you know me, I'm quite the chitter.
You have a sultry voice. I love hearing you talk.
Well, I love your voice, man. And the first time I heard your voice must have been at the Maltese doing karaoke.
Probably. That was probably, I don't know, 6-7 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. But yeah, we used to run hot and heavy at the Maltese. We called it the Crimson Church.
Dude, you kill it. You kill it every time you're on a microphone. Actually, I think the first time I met you was in 2010, and you maybe came to the Calskate PCW wrestling show.
Yeah, I have pictures of that on my Facebook. Yeah, it was me and the kids. We actually, the first time we enjoyed any of those shows, and I'm not even sure if you were on it, but was at Paradise Lost. And Brian Cage was wrestling that card, and I think Sir Samurai?
Yeah, Brian Cage wrestled Sir Samurai. I actually promoted that show, and I had my first singles match that night.
Okay.
I got beat up by Paul Isadora. Big shout out, 7-foot giant, man. He choke slammed me. I swear to God, I've never seen anybody get as high as on the choke slam at 250 pounds. Me, I was 250.
Yeah.
Getting up that high with Paul. Paul Isadora, another great Paul.
Yeah.
I got to, real quick, before we get into your story, I got to share this. I didn't share this with you off the show. I wanted to, man. I had this Paul, man. There's something about Paul right now going on in my life.
Okay.
I towed my car to my mechanic, Paul, in Paradise.
Okay.
Then I got my car towed to Advance Automotive, and it was picked up again to tow by Paul and Paul. And then it was towed from there to my dad's house, David Paul. So I don't know what's going on with the Pauls right now, but when Paul Priest hit me up and said, I want to be on Mitch, please, I said, well, absolutely. So Paul Priest, let's talk about it, brother. Okay. Where did you grow up?
I was born in Anaheim, California, grew up in Southern California, but I've been coming up to Chico since the 70s. We used to come up here for family reunions. My uncle actually owned a 76 station here. My aunt worked at Enlow. My family was in the original Robin Hood movie. That was
what?
Yeah.
Wait, Hook or Captain?
No.
Which one was that?
It was the Robin Hood in Bidwell. It was 1930s.
Oh,
it was
wow.
Earl Flynn.
Oh, nice, bro.
They were extras.
Still, I loved Robin Hood as a kid, man. I like the cartoon with the fox, bro.
Oh, dude, yeah. That's all the best songs. Anything with songs is the best. There was no songs in the Errol Flynn thing, just tight-ass spandex.
So how long?
Probably got me into wrestling.
Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about that. So how long were you in Anaheim?
It was actually Westminster. I born in Anaheim, grew up in Westminster. I was there until 1994. And then came up here.
So wait a second. Not to date yourself or age yourself, but how old? Like how many years were you in the Southern California area growing up?
74 to 20 years.
Okay, so that's your hometown.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've actually been up in Chico and Red Bluff longer than I have there. Yeah. And
we're really aging you right now.
Oh man, I'm going to be 45 actually. So,
you look great, man.
Thank you. It's rock and roll and heavy metal.
Yeah,
music's kept me young.
Yeah. Oh, it's the best thing in the world. One of them, no doubt. So, 20 years in Southern California, man. You got to tell me, what was that like? What were some of the things you experienced in those 20 years? What were some of the things that inspired you?
Music has been a part of my life since I was like 6-8 years old. The first song I ever sang was Don't Fear the Reaper when I was 6 years old. When I was living down south, I don't know, the things that influenced me, it would have to be heavy metal, and I first got into wrestling down there too. My dad took me to see Hulk Hogan in Anaheim, probably 1986. I saw him wrestle twice. Once against the King Harley Race and once against Cowboy Bob Orton the same night.
Where was this at?
Anaheim. I think it was the convention center before it was the Ducks and all that stuff. It was, and he was larger than life. But
Harley Race versus Hulk Hogan?
It was King Harley Race.
Yeah. And that's awesome, bro.
Dude, he whipped. I think either Harley Race or Bob Orton so hard in the corner that all the ropes snapped, and it kind of threw off the. And I could not tell you what the rest of that card was. My dad has an immaculate memory, and then he took me to the Great Western Forum, and we saw the Machines wrestle, which was Andre the Giant was the Giant Machine, but he had been kicked out of the WWF because I forgot what the rule was, but he was banned or something like that. And he came back as one of the machines. It was the Giant Machine, the Hulk Machine, which was Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
And it was and Demolition Axe was one of them, like Mean Machine or something like that.
Okay.
But also the whole rock and wrestling thing was going on, which kind of connected with music and
MTV.
Oh, and Southern California was a hotbed. I mean, my first concert was Iron Maiden in Long Beach.
Nice.
At the Long Beach Arena, and it was everywhere. You would go to a grocery store and they'd have Quiet Riot shirts, Twisted Sister shirts, Motley Crue posters, and they had real record stores. And they were everywhere. Music Plus, The Warehouse, everything. It was just a different era, and that music ruled the world. Like, it was just all around me. But, that was probably my favorite part. I underutilized the beach, but I am as white as a sheet, so.
Hey, man. My woman's a ginger, and she's white. And I ain't nothing wrong with that, brother. Let me tell you. But I'll tell you this, man. So, obviously, music and wrestling were huge inspirations for you. When was your first band?
Oh, my first foray into music was 1992 with my friends Sergio and Oscar, and I think Ozzy was on drums, but it was a band called Demigorgon, and we covered Cannibal Corpse songs, and it was horrible, and I think we only played half of one house show or one house party, and that was it. And I think it was, that was kind of ridiculous.
You played a house party? Yeah, that was your first gig?
We played a house party, and it was death metal. And looking back on it, it's like, wow, how did that happen? But it was kind of weird.
Dude, that's funny because I had Brad from Nothing Left on here, and that was, I think, his first gig also was a house party. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, for wrestlers, a lot of wrestlers, their first wrestling experience was in their backyard. Musicians, in your house or in someone else's house. Even better.
Absolutely. And in the 80s, after the whole punk scene moved through Southern California, you had heavy metal and death metal, and a lot of these bands weren't allowed to play at clubs, so they played in back people's yards, which is crazy to think about. But I mean, Slayer played in a basement of some guy's house and in a backyard, and I'm just trying to visualize and audibilize what that would sound like. I mean, neighbors must have... I know Motorhead played in Ireland, and supposedly you could hear 10 miles away. They were the loudest band ever on earth. They had the largest stack of Marshalls. There was a gentleman 4 miles away that Lemmy went out to apologize to, that he couldn't even hear his TV, and that was 4 miles away from the event.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to just hit you with the hard question here, brother. Top 5 bands of all time, or top 5 artists.
You know, just like the wrestling list, it changes.
Yeah.
They're all artists, and I music and wrestling and sports and all that stuff. My top 5 changes. Right now, I would say Motorhead, which I never thought would be on top.
Nice.
Iron Maiden. I mean, I'd probably throw Ozzy in there. Black Sabbath.
You gotta say AC/DC, man, because you don't have to, but when I think of you,
AC/DC is up
I
there.
think of AC/DC.
AC/DC is a great rock band that never changed their tune. If you listen to their songs, they never added anything extra. The Back in Black album is considered so perfect a sound that other people use it to check their levels in different recording venues. Like, that's how perfect that sound is.
Yeah.
And they're definitely up there, man. I mean, it's just right now I'm on a big thrash kick.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to, like, I don't know. There's a lot of thrash bands I listen to now.
But growing up, as a teenager and stuff, starting your first band, I mean, you were doing a lot of AC/DC, or?
When I was first starting getting into music, it was actually John Denver.
Okay.
Elton John's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road was a huge album for me. Michael Jackson. I really got into a lot of Michael Jackson.
Go.
I used to have a Walkman. I had the zipper Michael Jackson jacket. And I wore it to school once, and a kid made fun of me. I never wore it again. And I was nowadays, I'd be like, "Fuck you! I'm not."
Kids are always gonna make fun of you somehow. You know what I mean?
Well, when you're 8 years old or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but Michael Jackson, and then I found, I think it was Van Halen, and then like Motley Crue. 1983, Quiet Riot came out with the Mental Health album, and that thing was insane. And it was everywhere, like I said. So they're really responsible for a lot of me getting into metal. And then I started seeing like Iron Maiden posters, and I was like, "Who's that?"
Yeah.
And then once I hit that kick, it was just impossible. It was like I couldn't get enough. We'd go on vacations, and I'd be at record stores looking for Iron Maiden, everything associated with it, and then it'd lead me to, and I found Black Sabbath and Deep Purple and all these other things. Yeah, it's a great investigation.
Oh yeah,
music's like the Harry Potter of the world.
I love music, bro. I love. My mom's a singer for 40 years.
Nice.
I love music, and I love all kinds of music.
Yeah.
Sam Cooke's probably my mom's my favorite singer, but Sam Cooke. To Eminem, to Led Zeppelin, I'm all over the place.
Share of rap too.
Yeah,
but my rap likes were like I really like Ice-T because he was super aggressive.
Yeah,
I liked NWA because they were right around the corner from me, although they scared the shit out of me. A funny story was Slayer toured with Body Count. I really wanted to see that tour. And but Body Count had just released Cop Killer, which you can't get anymore. That song's been wiped from existence. Mm-hmm. But they were both together the scariest bands you could go to. And I was like 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
The opportunity came up and I didn't take it, but I was super scared. I mean, 30-year-old Paul would have been like, "Yeah, let's go, dude." I mean, I've done so many shows since that I would have cowered at, but...
Well, security was a lot different in the 90s.
It was lax. It was the killing of Dimebag Darrell in Ohio that actually led to the increase in the security.
Yep.
And then various other events that have happened since. But
What was the first live music? Did you tell me the first live music event that you attended?
It was 1990 Iron Maiden and Anthrax at the Long Beach Arena. But that's okay. I'll talk about it all day long.
No. How many live music events have you been to as a fan?
Well, my friend, you know Sam Vaquera?
I don't.
Okay. Big Sam and my buddy Zeke have outdone everybody as far as concerts. I think it's an addiction for them. They've probably been to, it's got to be close to 500 concerts that they've gone to, maybe more.
Wow.
For me, it's probably around 100, like 100 concerts.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Always go, because one day you're going to look back and these things aren't going to be here anymore, you know?
Yeah.
Kids are turning to... Oh, God, I sound old as hell.
Let's get it. Let's get it. They're turning to what, Paul? What are they turning to?
Music that's forged with computers, which is still music, but I appreciate a bass, a guitar, drums, and a vocalist.
Yeah.
And, you can have instruments at your disposal, pedals and such, and, different kinds of settings for... whatever, but anything I feel like that's generated by the flick of a button kind of loses its passion with me. Not that if it means something to you, that's great. That's just the way I feel. I wouldn't spend a lot of time listening to it. If my friends invited me, would I go? Hell yeah. And would we have a great time? We'd have the best of times, because I always want to make a good time better and the best times the best.
Yeah, I feel like there's just different type of musicians, or really different type of artists. Yeah. Because a musician could be a singer, but I think my mom would tell me, a musician's somebody that can play guitar, sing, would play a musical instrument. But I like a lot of rap, right? And that's an artist. A good rapper can also be a good producer, like Dr. Dre, where they can produce their own beats, which is a whole nother thing that I don't even want to think about trying to do. There's just, it's just all over the place.
And I have a lot of respect for the old school, quote unquote, rap game and stuff like that. And I haven't listened too much of what's going on now, but like, you know, growing up in Southern California too, I mean, I saw Eazy. He came to our theater and stuff like that. And I used to see these guys, and the NWA was Compton. And I remember us driving into Compton one time. It was my ex-wife and I. And one of my Samoan friends came up behind the car and knocked on the car and scared the shit out of us. And he said, "Don't you guys know you're white? Why are you here?" And but I mean, he was joking around, but that was funny. But yeah, NWA, God, I don't know. I still love that stuff. Snoop Dogg.
Exhibit, bro, or what? Ice Cube.
Oh, Ice Cube, dude. You know what's funny is like I do have jams that like I will get down to, like whenever we did our Costco holiday parties. If I was in charge of them and we got a DJ, there's certain songs I put on. One of them was Ice Cube's "Bop Gun." I love that song. The flow.
How's that one go?
So high you can't get above it. So low you can't get under it. And then it goes into the beat.
Gotta listen to that one.
Now here we come, getting down on the ones that we believe in.
I think I have heard that.
One nation.
There you go. There you go. That's why I got you on the show, bro. I want some music. I want you to sing to me this morning on Mitch, please. But let's talk about your 20 years in Southern California. What were some of your fondest memories as an artist performing in Southern California those first 20 years of your life?
Well, like I said, I think we only did the one house show.
So it didn't get serious until after you moved away.
And then after I moved away...
Why did you move?
Because my ex-wife at the time and we decided this was the only place that was affordable. When we first moved to Chico... It was $490 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, $475, $490, and we lived over off of Shasta. And it was great. And I worked up at the Red Bluff Distribution Center, so I came up early, saved some money, and then we were going to move out together, and we did. And then I worked there for 95 to 2005, and we moved up to Red Bluff. And then when I got divorced, I came down to Chico and got the job at Costco and everything. But it wasn't until then that I tried getting into another band in Red Bluff. It's called Shotgun Method. That didn't work out. And then I came down to Chico and just had to get my job going, everything else. And then my current wife, very supportive and loving and helped me and everything. And my brother Eric Bryant... I told him I was going to be doing this, and somebody wanted me to sing in a band, and he gave me all my equipment. And I said, well, I can't afford this. He said, all I want you to do is promise that you're going to rock. And I said, I promise I will rock.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. For those about to rock, man, I definitely salute you. And so what was that first band again that you started with in Chico, and you started really getting serious with your music?
Well... the one in Red Bluff was Shotgun Method. Right. That wasn't really a serious one. And then I came to Chico, and we were at a house party. It's the Civil Disobedience house party at Mr. Jim Ketchum's house. And
shout out to Jim.
The Wizard, actually. He is a magic man on the keys. And I ran into my guitarist, Spencer Rogers, and then my bassist, Travis Christie. And we all had, like, metal shirts on. And the conversation just broke down from there. And I'm like, well, I'm doing karaoke on Thursday. Yeah. They came out and watched me sing.
Where at?
Maltese.
Of course.
Yeah. And I did Judas Priest, Victim of Changes. And then they said, you got it if you want it. So the three of us formed up to 11. And then that was 3 years ago.
Okay, so 3 years ago. But you've been doing... So that was... Okay, so you really been getting it after it the last 3 years. You've been really getting after it.
Yeah, at first, we were doing a lot of shows at first, maybe twice a week, stuff like that. And then, families and everything are the most important to all of us.
Amen.
And so, and other responsibilities, work, everything, life. So, and so what we did was we cut down to once a month. And the once a month thing has made it special for everybody involved, because then people who, if they haven't seen us and they missed us that month, builds up a whole lot of want and desire for the crowds to come back and see us. And, anybody who's been to our shows knows that I'm practically willing to die on stage to make sure everybody has a good time. Not unlike you, man. When we watched you wrestle, it definitely seemed like you were ready to spit your spine out your mouth just to make sure people would have a good time. And not a lot of people realize the kind of physicality and the damage that does, and it travels with you through life, and it doesn't get better, it gets worse.
Well, I appreciate that, dude. That means a lot. Yeah. Let's talk about wrestling.
Yeah.
You brought it up. So, all right. So, you saw Hulk Hogan versus Harley Race as a kid. Mm-hmm. Who were some of your other favorite wrestlers?
As a kid?
Of all time, brother. Go ahead. As a kid, and then of all time, just shout wrestlers out, bro. Let's talk some wrestling up on Mitch, please.
All right. The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, brother.
If you will.
You will. He had dined with kings and queens, and he fed on rice and beans.
There you go.
Dusty Rhodes gave me hope. He had my body structure, so I was like, that man's awesome. And he could work, and he talked like gold.
And how about Cody Rhodes, what he's doing now?
Oh, dude, unbelievable. I think that, and it seems like he's going after all the patents. He's trying to get all his dad's stuff. And I think it's going to be something special. It's needed in wrestling.
Well, I'll tell you what, getting Chris Jericho,
huge,
for probably a $5 million contract.
One of my all-time favorites, top 5.
Me too.
Jericho, HBK, probably some Bret Hart in there, and Austin or The Rock. Just because they were iconic.
Absolutely.
Jericho. From his ECW to WCW to WWF, that kid was like my favorite wrestler. His debut on WWF was, I had tingles in the shot, and the fact they brought him out for Rock's promo. That was.
And he beat Rock and Austin the same night, by the way. But you know what's great about Jericho is he's 48. He's about to be 49 years old.
Yeah.
He has never. He broke his arm in Stampede Wrestling.
Yeah, I remember that.
He wrestled that night.
Thrill Shooters or
the Thrill Seekers.
Yeah.
But he broke his arm, okay, in 1992 or whatever it was. He has never gotten seriously hurt. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
But he has never gotten seriously hurt where he has to take time off. He's taken time off because he chose to take time off. I can't even fathom that.
Rock and roll and heavy metal.
It's amazing.
Protects him with a solid shell of energy. Jericho is a phenom, dude. Like I said, his work has been great, and that tag team, the Thrill Seekers with Lance Storm, was great. If you ever get a chance to watch them, their Smoky Mountain work was great.
Jericho's an inspiration to all entertainers, because the one thing that he does that all entertainers, I feel, need to do is constantly evolve, constantly change, not change, but constantly have something new to give the people.
Yeah, he reinvents himself all the time. And, the last one I really remember was the whole list thing, but when he went to New Japan, what's exciting about that and this All Elite Wrestling is I feel he's going to have creative freedom, so I feel like he's going to explode.
Bro, the owner or whatever, one of the Khan guy, Tony Khan, he was a Jericho fan growing up. I was listening to him on Talk is Jericho. He's like, I went to ECW and I love Jericho so much. The owner.
Yeah.
He's a Jericho mark. So, I think Jericho's going to have a huge impact.
Jericho to get a title run, man.
Let's expect Jericho versus Omega to main event.
Oh, yeah.
That show. What is it called? Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing. Yeah.
That should be the main event, and Jericho should go over because Omega beat him last time, and Bill do a third one.
Yeah. Well, I 100% agree. And they have to start getting some titles in line, I would think.
They've got to get they've got a lot of work to do, but I don't think that they're smart, because what I've learned in my life is don't rush things, man.
Yeah.
Don't rush it. Let it build. Let people talk for it. Let it build.
Well, it's the story aspect of everything that, and that's the other thing that kind of defined my love for heavy metal, and it kind of encapsulated my love of wrestling, was that I felt like heavy metal and rock and roll told stories, especially metal. There's a lot of great artists. King Diamond, every album he does is a story. Queensryche did an album called Operation Mindcrime. It was a story. One of the greatest build-up that wouldn't exist today was Hogan and Andre. And they built that story over a year.
Hogan and Savage.
Dude, there's a lot of stories back then that just, they stood the course of time. The feud with Dusty Rhodes and the Four Horsemen.
Oh, God.
It's
hard times, baby.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about hard times.
Ric Flair doesn't know about hard times.
Yeah. No, storytelling. You hit the nail right on the head, bro, with the big old hammer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You just went nail, boom, with the hammer. Because it's about storytelling, man.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Storytelling is what I love.
Yeah, 100% correct. And that's what's gone. And I think that's, everybody wants to quick fix now. And I think that's what happens if you look at different things, like the music and stuff like that. It's the quick fix.
Yeah.
No one wants a progression of music anymore, and it feeds over into everything. They don't want a progression of story on the TV. They don't want a progression of story in wrestling. They want the quick fix. They want A to B now.
Well, they've been doing it right on WWE with Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
They've been doing it right with I want to say Kurt Angle, but I'm really here's what I think is going to happen. I'm going to be doing a lot of WrestleMania talk. I've actually already done the WrestleMania talk on this show today, but I do want to get some quick WrestleMania picks from you, just real quick, because I want to move on.
Yeah.
But go ahead and let's talk about, just real quick, we'll do like 3 or 4 matches. I brought up Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle is one of my favorite of all time. I love that he's been wrestling some actual real superstars, but he's slated to wrestle Baron Corbin as we record this. What's your prediction for that?
Isn't Baron Corbin hurt?
No, Baron Corbin he's painful to watch, but no, Baron Corbin, he's got a lot of talent. I think he's a musician or somebody. I know he's a boxer, and and Vince McMahon, obviously they love him. And I'll tell you what, when I was in Sacramento on my birthday, he had more heat than anybody in the building.
Baron Corbin, when I met him in Aftershock, he seemed like he was kind of a prick. And I don't know.
Yeah.
So here's the thing also with that is that that fine line that people, if they're heels or if they're faces, gets blurred, and if that's part of it, if he's portraying that and getting it out there, then that's good on him. You know, I feel like that's much needed, unless they're doing some charity events and stuff.
Right.
But even to that aspect, I don't know. It's kind of hard. I feel like he should win just to get him an extra push. I think he should win, and I think he should carry Angle's medals for the rest of his career.
Bro. Wow. But see, people have already done that, but there's still, I don't think that's a bad idea.
But who's going to remember it besides the ones that have been watching this whole time?
Who's going to show Chris Benoit putting the gold medals in his tights? I don't think anybody's going to show that footage.
No.
Yeah, that
doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, I understand, and that's a whole different topic.
Yes, it is.
Maybe we can get you back on the show and we can talk about that or something. I've always wanted to talk about that. But anyways, moving on.
I don't have a problem with Benoit's artistic, what he presents. And I was thinking about that the other day because there's a lot of talk about people not listening to Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And my thought is that do you take that away too, and any benefit that provides to the society? Or do you actually tie that to him and say we should not listen to Michael Jackson anymore because of this? What about the thousands of people, children, grown-ups, whatever, who get pleasure from this music? If this man is a monster,
right,
I don't know if we should take away that, because then they get everything. Then everything's gone. Then any kind of positive that comes from that horrible situation, if indeed it did happen, is gone.
I feel that we should talk about this another time because I want to get into it. Yeah. I have so much to talk about with this Chris Benoit situation. I'm going to get into it on a future episode of Mitch, please. Thanks for reminding me. So, Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin. You said Baron Corbin's going to win, carry his medals around. Here's what... Okay, so I already explained my feelings on that match earlier. What's the other match? Oh, Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston. I think this has been built up well. What do you think's going to happen?
See, I also try with wrestling to pay attention to social norms, and then you got to try and think of I don't know. I always try and think like what Vince is going to do, and then my mind gets shattered. So, what do I think should happen? I think it should be a 5-star match, and I think Daniel Bryan should go over.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind if Kofi won.
Yeah.
I think he's an awesome performer and has done a hell of a job for a hell of a long time. They gave them a shit product with the New Day. I mean, honestly. If we look at it, when it first started, it was crickets.
Oh, yeah.
And they ran with that thing hard and heavy and got that thing magnificent. Those are 3 of the best performers in wrestling. Lesnar,
Rollins.
God, you got to get something off of Lesnar. He has to be gone. I am so tired of Brock Lesnar. Rollins is a great performer. I mean, since he was Tyler Black, ROH, I would love to see Rollins go over. How would they do it? I don't know. I remember when Eddie Guerrero beat Brock Lesnar and Goldberg came in and speared him.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to dust Goldberg off anymore. He looked heavily winded every time he wrestled like Brock not long ago. And he's an older dude.
Yeah. He's 50 plus.
Dude, and that kind of high energy with the muscle mass that guy carries, his lungs just get blown out all the time. So, I mean, it depends how it goes. I think that Seth Rollins should win. That would be my pick.
Maybe a spear from Roman?
A return from Roman, there you go. Because they could reenact the whole thing, play it side by side.
We'll see what happens. Last one, triple threat.
Ooh.
Charlotte, as we record this, just won the SmackDown Women's Championship. Ronda Rousey.
Oh, man.
I'm loving Ronda Rousey right now. She's getting everybody talking. She's got people in the business mad at her. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm used to having people I know what it feels like to have people in the business mad at you. I love what she's doing. And, of course, Becky Lynch, triple threat. Are both titles going to be on the line? As we record this, we're not sure. I think both titles are going to be on the line.
I think it should, too, because the visualization, going back to Ultimo Dragon and stuff like that, of seeing a champion come out with multiple belts, and for him, all his arms were draped in belts, and he had multiple belts on his waist. Just visualizing that as a wrestling fan means that person is badass. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's a tough call. I would say Becky Lynch. If Ronda Rousey's leaving, she's awesome. But I would say Becky Lynch. She's on fire.
Becky all the way. Love a redhead at 35. Love a redhead at 35. So, all right, brother. Let's get something. What's the word?
Focus?
Refocus.
All right.
Thank you.
Bring it back.
Let's bring it back. Let's do this thing.
Rises to the top.
Oh, yeah. Thinking.
Elizabeth. He always did that kind of thing with his lips all pierced. Tell me that guy wasn't on just a ton of cocaine all the time, man. And that's the other thing about the 80s, boys and girls. Cocaine ran heavy.
Up to 11.
Oh.
Let's talk about your band.
Okay. Great band. David Hordienko, Spencer Rogers, Travis Christie, Tyler Corey. We've had multiple incarnations of that band. Zach Schultz played drums for us. Who else did we have in that band? Jeff Bethel. Some great musicians, local musicians have been in our band. Jim Ketchum played keys with us. It's been nothing but a blast. Every show we play is a party. I call us the dirtiest band in the 530.
I can attest to that because last year it was your birthday show at the Studio Inn, and I was a bouncer at the time, and I absolutely loved what you guys were doing. Even the birthday cake, they went flying all over the room because, hey, I didn't have to clean it up.
Oh, my God.
But, no, you guys rocked the room. No. You guys rocked the room so hard. I don't think there was a band, and I was there for 6 months, every weekend, every Saturday night. Yeah. I don't think there was a band that rocked the Studio Inn harder than Up to 11.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Like I said, that's kind of our home turf. We love the Studio Inn. We love, every place that we play. The Tackle Box. We've gone as far as Chester. We try and expand all the time, but our goal has been, you have a lot of bands that sound like the record.
Yeah.
And it's great, and it's beautiful, and I have a lot of friends, and they sound picture perfect. They're great. I wanted to, this band, we do the songs, we pay them homage, but we definitely dial that shit to 11. And anybody who's been to our show knows that you never know what's going to happen. I guess it's a little bit of the wrestling thing. One time at the Studio Inn, we had a giant glitter warfare. People bought these glitter bombs, and we're shooting them off their chest, and every drink was an inch deep in glitter. People were pulling glitter and confetti out of themselves for weeks. We had to stick our straws all the way bottom to the bottom of our drinks because there's just so much glitter everywhere. And the cake fight you talked about happened at a couple occasions. But the one you were at, we actually had our brothers and the Booze Fighters were involved too, which is, there's nothing like seeing some awesome bikers just chuck some cake.
Big shout out to the Booze Fighters, man. Those guys were always cool, always respectful, and always had my back.
And worked security after the fire at one of the local churches, and so did Hellbent. They got the bikers to work security, and some of the best guys. They do the toy runs every year. But yeah, I took a cake and I threw it across the room and hit a big boy named Nate, my brother Nate. Big Red. In fact, we looked like those Russian dolls when he put us together. Like I could be inside of him and come out like as a doll because he's that much bigger than me. And it flew across the room and hit him in the face. And in slow motion, I saw him. He took the cake off his face, walked up to me while I'm singing, and just smacks me on the side of the face, but doesn't do it fast. And just runs it slowly down my face and just smashes it all into my ear. I smelled cake for like 2 weeks.
I think I know Nate. I think I know exactly. Big old dude.
Yeah. He's got long hair, red beard, clamper. A lot of good people come to our shows. We've never had any problems. Positive vibes all the way. I will preach that till the day I die. But I always make sure that everyone has something to see and something to hear. As do all the guys, and our crowds vary. We get a lot of people from Costco, so that's the unusual thing about our audiences is a lot of bands, it's like, a certain demographic, and ours runs from 21 to 55, 60, something like that.
Maybe older, maybe younger.
Yeah, but we do bring the drinkers because the owner of the Studio Inn stopped me at Costco the other day. He said, when you guys playing again? I said, my birthday. He says, that's great. He's like, we are really impressed with you guys. Yeah. And I took that as a compliment. That is amazing to hear an owner tell me that. Yeah.
April 27th.
April 27th, one night only. I'm leveling up, level 45.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, and I'm bringing out all the stops. So, I think people have the benefit of knowing that the lead singer of this band not only grew up listening to the art of heavy metal and rock and roll and got to see all those performers and everything was a show, but I grew up watching wrestling, and so everything's a show. So everything changes. I evolve. I took on the persona of the Priest when just like Ozzy, John Osborne took on the persona of Ozzy, and I have the whole outfit now, and we bring out different stuff all the time, whether it's beads. God, the last show we played, it was my bass player's birthday, and it got insane. We had they had to turn a couple people away at the door because it was packed on the patio, packed inside. And it was Travis's birthday, so I knew it was going to get a little bit rowdy. But, man, when we started running hot and heavy and then we did Enter Sandman, everyone lost their nut. It was bedlam.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite songs to play with Up to 11?
Ooh. Well, currently, I really dig Enter Sandman, Ace of Spades by Motorhead. God,
come on.
That's a barn burner. We started a mosh pit as far as I know, the only mosh pit at the Ramada when we played there.
Good mosh pitting?
Yes, very good mosh pitting. Yeah. We had a first ever glitter pit at the Studio Inn.
Nice.
All of them for Ace of Spades.
Glit Pit.
Yeah, the Glit Pit. I know. Be careful when you say that. Don't mistake the first letter because then it gets X-rated.
Yes.
So anyway, let's see. What Ace of Spades.
What about some Zeppelin?
Enter Sandman. We don't do Zeppelin.
Okay.
We kind of when
everybody does.
It's like when we hear people scream Leonard Skinner, we're like, no Skinner, man. But I appreciate that music. When I was growing up, it was weird. We had a crew that you either picked Black Sabbath or you picked Led Zeppelin, and I picked Black Sabbath.
What about AC/DC?
We do a ton of AC/DC.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, AC/DC is timeless. And Dirty Deeds, TNT.
Oh, yeah.
Thunderstruck, Back in Black. We're going to be adding more. We're busting out some new songs at the 427 show. But when we do Dirty Deeds and TNT, I'd say people lose their minds. And You Shook Me, they get dancing.
Oh,
good.
they love that
and
song.
Back in Black.
Oh, of course. So Metallica. So if I go on April 27th, can you guys play? It's from, I think, the Reload album. It was one of my favorite songs as a kid. It's Out of My Way, Out of My Day, Out of Can you? Do you know that one?
I do know when you say it. It's funny because Reload, I didn't listen too much besides the Fuel song and then King Nothing. I'm trying to think of the one you're talking about too. There's
Ain't My Mitch.
Oh, there you go. Ain't My Mitch. That's right, dude. But you are my Mitch, so why would I sing that?
Well, you are my Mitch. Dude, if you promise to sing that song, I'll be there.
Oh my God. Well, we could do our best. Right now, we're working on some new music, but it's going to be off the hook.
It's going to be awesome.
Up to 11. Partially because it's us, but partially because we like to pick songs that no one else does all the time. You're going to have those songs like, Back in Black and stuff like that. But, you don't have a lot of bands that do War Pigs or Iron Man or Mr.
War
Crowley.
Pig, man. Jody Christopherson.
Oh, dude. It's one of the greatest songs of all time.
Oh, yeah.
And actually written during the Vietnam War and actually pertains to wars that go on today.
You know Jody Christopherson.
Yeah.
That's his gimmick. He's a war pig. He comes out to that song. He's amazing. He just got back in the ring recently.
I saw him at Off the Wall Soccer, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably the night he won the Inter-California Championship or something.
I don't remember.
What was your favorite PCW show you ever went to?
Probably at the Municipal Auditorium. I was trying to think. What were the main events?
You went to a lot, bro.
I did. Well, and I usually had Christopher with me. And if I had Christopher with me, I was kind of in between, busy and everything. So it was mostly for the kids, and then I had to make sure he was taken care of. But I could have swore I remember seeing you and Shoop going at it.
That was then Chico.
Okay. Was that at the Off the Wall?
Off the Wall, we did a couple tag matches, and Cal Skate, we did a tag match and a singles match. Our first match was at Cal Skate.
Okay.
November 2010.
Oh, well, I was probably there too.
Oh, I know you were there.
Yeah. I have a picture of my daughter hitting me in the back with a steel chair at one of those.
Well, let me tell you, because I don't know if I've really talked about this on Mitch Please before, but my favorite match I've ever had so far was your son Chris's birthday party in 2015. I just got back from Pennsylvania. Yeah. I was having some sunny days.
Yes, you were having sunny days.
And it was partially cloudy. It was mostly cloudy.
God bless you, though, by the way, because how many wrestling fantasies, good Lord.
It's nothing to brag about, bro, trust me. But anyways, so coming back from Pennsylvania, man, and I was angry. But I was doing your son's birthday, so I was happy.
Oh, dude,
so it brought me up when I was down, and it brought me up, and I had my favorite match I've ever had. Me and P Daddy. Your son slapped me in the face. I loved it, and I'll never forget that day.
And all the performers that performed that day, dude. And actually, Shoop had, I thought, what he should have run with the rest of his wrestling existence, which was the Pink Dragon.
That was Shoop?
Oh, well, oh God, I don't know.
I didn't, what?
Well, Wait a second.
It looks like him.
Reverse. It might. Whoever that was. I will just say that I will go on the record as saying that everyone was chanting Pink Dragon. Everyone.
Oh, yeah.
And to this day at Costco, I have people that ask me about that. My friend Kevin brings it up all the time. Kevin,
Do you hear that? Pink Dragon,
Yeah.
whoever you are.
Dust it off, Pink Dragon. Come out. Start shouting Pink Dragon again.
I love Pink Dragon. I wrestled Pink Dragon one time, and I got hit in the back with a chair from Primetime, but I was going to beat Pink Dragon. Pray he's lucky that Primetime hit me with a chair.
Pink. Slap him, Pink.
So awesome, brother. I love it. I love it. Every time I see you, you always make me laugh. You know what I mean? You're just a great guy. And Up to 11 is going down at the Studio Inn April 27th, your 45th birthday party.
45th. I know. I don't know how many of these I have left in me. So.
Oh man, you got a
I'm
long
kidding.
time.
I'm kidding. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Z-Rock always pumps our shows.
Yeah.
So we know. Shout out to Rachel Frost.
Frost in the house. I love Frost.
Frosty, man, she's awesome, and she is a metalhead through and through. And I love Z-Rock. We've performed at a couple of their shows, and it was crazy, awesome, loved it.
Yeah.
The 427 will be awesome, and then after that we play a house party. Then after that, I think we play Tackle Box, and then we're heading up the hill and going to Chester, playing up there, and then eventually once they lay down some concrete and get a venue back up in Paradise, we're gonna go back up there and play. Because I know not a lot of people know this. But my brother Eric Bryant lost some friends at the car fire. Yeah. And then he was super depressed. He's a firefighter. And he's one of the most caring, giving, loving people. He married my wife and me. He did our ceremony. I'm like, dude, let's snap out of it. Let's do a show. Mm-hmm. It was going to be our first show together in a couple years. Well, we booked at the Whitewater. And we all know what happened. And then he had to go and deal with that too and fight for everybody. It just was unrelenting. And actually, if there's people in my life that make me me, and my parents, Rick and Paula Priest, amazing people. I have the benefit of surrounding myself with amazing people. He's one of them that no matter what has happened, and he's been to hell and back, brings a smile to my face. Yeah. And he makes my life better. And if there's one thing I can tell anybody out there, is that surround yourself with the best of people. Eliminate drama from your life, because they will make the good times better and the best times legendary. And it's a great feeling. Like, you feel like you're getting younger every day.
Amen. Yeah. Priest. Yeah. I love it.
I'm preaching it.
He's preaching. So, I'm glad you brought up this fire situation in Paradise, because before we're going to end the show, but I just want to say that we're doing a show in Paradise. Nice. We're going to do a show.
That'd be awesome, dude. I would love to have you open for us, or because I know you do comedy.
I am not going to reveal any information yet.
Ooh, okay, I don't want to. But I'm already breaking fourth walls.
You're
and stuff
fine.
Like that.
You're fine. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna have the Pink Dragon after me now.
Pink Dragon, watch out, Pink Dragon.
At least I'll hear him coming.
I'm just saying, brother. I feel that Paradise needs entertainment, man. 100%. They need love.
We played one show at the Maltese after that. We thought the fire was going to hit us. I mean, just real quickly. The information down here was insane. I had to go rescue my parents off of Bruce and Remington. They set up a line of cops at 32, and we're cutting everyone off. I had to blow through that line, grab my parents. They were evacuated. The fire was coming down the hill.
We left.
Yeah, and so I did that. We went to my house. We heard it got to Bidwell, all this false information. We ended up in Martinez with my sister. The whole time I was there, I wanted to do something for everybody. When I got back, we started planning things out. We did a show for the firefighters at the fairgrounds. We did a show at the Maltese. The Firefighter show was awesome. We were playing Ace of Spades and stuff like that, and they were flashing the lights, hitting the horns for us. It was great. One of my greatest. That was a fun show.
Yeah.
And then, at Costco, we were inundated with people that each of them had a story. And my grandma always instilled in me that if someone has a story, I'm going to listen to it. And, I still do that to this day. It's, I held so many people while they were crying, and I tried to do everything that I could, to the point where I had to basically, leave my cards at home, like my credit card and my debit card, because I was trying to pay for people's eye exams.
Yeah.
But they were so strong, and not a lot of people realize the kind of hell and everything that everyone went through. And just hearing some of the stories, it was insane, and everybody was affected. You can't come to Chico and say, were you affected by the fire? Well, of course you were, because you probably have friends, family, somebody living up there. My drummer lived up there, lost everything.
Yeah.
Bands were wiped out. Looking for 11 was wiped out, and they're coming back thanks to the generosity of people giving them instruments, and they're going to be playing at Feather Falls at the brewery. I want to say that's really soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, great guys. Michael Coronado and Matt Wyatt, both amazing musicians.
Yeah.
And the other boys in the Looking for 11 crew. Our brothers in Blackout Betty, Tom Hoy, they put on benefit shows at the Tackle Box. Tom Hoy's another one. That guy just gives and gives and gives.
Yeah.
And Chico, you want to talk about Chico rock legend. That dude exudes, breathes it, walks it.
David Duke's a good friend of mine.
Okay.
I feel like he's a very talented musician as well. Low-Key Miller. The intro for this song, Dupre Laney, the starving artist. Yeah. My mom, the House Cats, Bill Teague, Justin Mora. I know
Justin,
people, man, there's people out here doing things. There's people out here entertaining. Yeah. You're one of them. And I just feel that we're 5 months removed from the campfire, and people, you see all this out here. Yeah. There's 40 campers right outside my complex here.
You're still on the fairground too.
Oh yeah,
My one of my friends, James Callis, works security out at the fairgrounds. I don't know if he still does, but there was 93 people still out there, and he said, unfortunately, that they'll probably remain there, or they're going to end up on the streets in Chico.
And that's the thing is, people. I heard this at Rhema about a month after the fires. Somebody stood up and they said, people are going to want to forget about this. People are going to be, it's been a month, people are going to, it's not all over, people want to start forgetting about this. They want to, but no, we're not forgetting about this. No. This is real every day.
Every day. This is those people's reality every day. And it's shocking to hear people say that. And actually, maybe next time I come on, we can go into religion, which is...
Religion sucks.
Because I believe that the churches should actually open up their doors to a lot of these people.
A lot of them are. I've heard great things about the Nazarema in Magalia.
And there was East Avenue Church. That's the one that the booze fighters work security at. And they did their best. I'm talking about a permanent place of residency, about them doing more. They have tax-exempt status. They have all these buildings.
Angels of Hope, I hear, are doing a lot.
Perfect.
But I feel that the homeless problem in Chico, first of all, before the fires, it was bad. Yeah. Now it's worse. And I know there's a lot of transients coming from out of the area. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Homeless people are homeless people, and they need help, and they need shelter, and they need food. And I was just preaching last night. I was like, buy a homeless person a taco, man. Do something every day. Because there's no reason why we can't spread the love and help each other. That's what we're here to do.
Well, they treat them like vermin. The people that I see talking down to them and talking about them and everything, and what gets lost is the fact that we're all human beings. And I don't understand how that gets lost when we're living on one planet and people can... It's funny because you start talking like that and you'll have a certain sect of people that call you like a communist or something else like that. And I'm like, man, you go to church. Why are you talking like that? You should be taking care of people. According to what you believe in, that should be your job. And they're hypocrites to me. And I despise that. I think that people should take care of people. By whatever means you have necessary. I realize people have their own lives and their own situations, but it's just it's crazy. Once again, Eric Bryant took in a family. We have my friend Aaron Hawkins, who works out at Enloe. I think they're still living with him.
Yeah, I've heard a story in the mall not working, but my job at Lids.
Yeah.
People coming in all the time, bro.
Oh yeah.
I'm living with my mom. I got 6 kids. I mean, it's
insane.
Yeah.
And
My friend. Yeah.
Sorry, they don't know when it's going to end, and it's just it's sad. And they are human beings. The homeless situation did get out of control. This is another thing that went back to the 80s, unfortunately, when they started getting rid of mental health institutions.
That's a whole other issue, man. I don't know if we're going to have time for all this, Priest.
We can delve
We
deep.
can get into everything.
I can put the steel toes on and kick America in the ass.
Shoot, man. Well, shoot. I mean, yeah, it's just basically my friend Vince Haney tells everybody he can, it's not about religion, man. Religion sucks. This is my opinion.
Yeah.
Religion sucks.
Yeah.
Have faith.
Yeah.
Do what's right.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Ronnie James Dio said, heaven and hell, God and the devil exist in all of us. You have the choice to do whatever you want and to portray good or evil and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Me too.
I think that is exactly the way it is. And when you meet people, you have the opportunity to be that way. And there's a lot of people that choose to be miserable and choose to be angry. And that's a choice. You can say all these things happen in your life. Plenty of stuff happened to me in my life. And that's a whole other story.
Will Smith says, it doesn't matter whose fault it is.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah. You just have to rise up. I mean, I get the benefit of going to work every day, and I hear people complain all the time, and I love going to work. I love my place of work. I love the people that I meet. It has brought me so many people into my life. And each situation, if it starts off bad, can end up good, and I have that happen every day. People leave people with me that are just pissed off beyond belief, and we start talking, and I can find a common thread. And then you make that quote, man. That's it.
And sometimes though, you just gotta just
back away.
Be humble, sit down, and just don't. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. And there's you have to feel the situation. There's some things that you can't fix, and people are just going to be away, and you have to go. Okay, this is the way you are. But
for now,
yeah, for now, and you hope for the better. But man, I love human beings. My faith is in humanity.
Right.
It just across the board. I mean, and people that know me know that music and humans, you have to put your faith in that. And I think if more people had a comic connectivity of music, they would really find a common thread. It's actually proven that people that listen to death metal are nicer people. And I've been to the
Who
show.
proved that? Hold up. Who proves that?
It's online.
It's online. It must be real.
I read it on Wikipedia.
Well, hell yeah, brother.
Yeah.
Whatever makes you feel good, and if you're doing the right thing, because we all know right from wrong, that's all that matters. What a positive, uplifting episode of Mitch Please, man.
My God, I am so uplifted. I wore my happy pants today.
Well, keep them on. That's all I ask. So, all right, Paul, go ahead, man. Tell us. Well, you told us what's next. April 27th, Studio Inn.
27th, brother. Up to 11 at the Studio Inn. We're gonna bring it. Dig it.
Love it. Where can people find Up to 11, Paul Priest, on social media?
Ooh, we do have a Facebook site. It's just look for Up to 11. We're right at the very top.
Now it's up to UPTO
11.
11.
Yes. Thank you. You're very good. And then also we're on Instagram. And I think the link to that is on our Facebook account. So
perfect.
That's the two best ways to find us. We're always working on getting merch. It usually always sells out. So now we're doing it just by orders. So if people come up and they're like, I want a medium shirt. When we get to a certain number, I think it's 14, then we put in the order.
There you go.
I used to have a bunch of stickers, but I gave them all away free at the last show. Trying to get some more going into the next one. Eric Bryant, did you hear that? Give me my stickers. I love you.
I want some stickers, Eric Bryant.
You know what? I do have something for you.
He's reaching into his happy pant pocket.
Here they come.
What do we got?
This is Quips and Chains, my brother Eric's band, and if you get a chance, you should get him on because his story is amazing.
Okay.
And then this is ours.
Oh, nice, bro. Well, shoot, this is the first time anyone's ever given me a present.
Oh my God, I'll get more of you
Mitch,
next
please.
time if we do part 2.
I'm gonna give you a present.
You know, we should do a 3-parter. In the 80s, everything was 3-parters. So it was, what was it? It could be The Priest Strikes Back and then Return of the Priest.
Return of the Priest.
Yeah.
Is this a new priest or Priest New Hope? What is this one? Well, originally it didn't even have a title.
It's originally Return of the Jedi was called Revenge of the Jedi, and then they decided that revenge wasn't a Jedi trait. And my dad actually got me a poster that unfolded that said Revenge of the Jedi.
I've heard that, yeah.
Dude, and I was young and stupid and destroyed that. So,
dude, you like Star Wars, and we didn't talk about Star Wars. We got to talk about more wrestling, more music. We'll definitely have you back on the show.
All over the place, man. Comic books. I love comic books.
Okay.
I'm the biggest geek that you'll find or whatever. I just happen to love to wear leather and denim and listen to metal.
Much love to Paul Priest for coming on the show. And make sure you guys check out Up to 11 at the Studio Inn on April 27th. And make sure you guys follow me on all my social media at HeartbreakerMV on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. Of course, on Facebook, you can find me, Mitch Valentine. You can find me, Team Valentine. You can find me at Got Mitch Marketing. You can find out about Pro Championship Entertainment, which I'm going to have a huge announcement probably next time on Mitch Please about the next PCE live event, and it's going to be a big one. Also, of course, this show, Mitch Please, on Facebook as well, and also on CastBox. If you're listening on CastBox, much love, shout out, please comment, please share. That's the thing, guys. It's all about sharing. And I'm not talking about Sharon Stone or Sharon Osbourne. I'm talking about sharing this show. You know, you might also be listening on youtube.com/TheMitchValentine. Again, thank you. I hope you're subscribed. And again, I hope you're sharing. Because that's what it's all about. We got to share the love, man. We got to share the love. And you guys might have also seen on youtube.com/TheMitchValentine, I sent out a challenge. And I sent out a challenge to AJ Kirsch, the Rock the Promo champion. Broseph Joe Brody, AJ Kirsch, whatever you want to call yourself. It's all there. It's all at youtube.com/TheMitchValentine. Mitch challenges AJ. Share that. Because I'm going to work with The Rock. And I'm going to work with AJ Kirsch. So be a part of it. Because I will never forget you if you're one of the people that are helping with spreading the love and sharing the love. Also on there, I just posted a match never before seen, Mitch Valentine versus Propane. And there is always going to be new content on that YouTube channel. And there's so much content in general. So please check that out, guys. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap this show up. We're not going to have a live performance to close the show. We just had too much of a jam-packed show. Again, much love to Paul Priest. Much love to Bradley Rotten, Bradley Justin Finney, Nothing Left. He's got 3 names as well. And I love everybody in this world, really. I do. I'm really changing kind of. The person that I used to be is not who I am, so I'm changing. Life is all about changing and evolving, and that's what's happening to me, and I give all glory to God. And if that turns you off, then that's fine, because I am who I am, and actually I am who God says I am, and I just love who I am. And I love you for listening to this show. So until next time, this has been Mitch Valentine. Make dreams happen, and it's all love.